3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to the Thursdays are the Best Days podcast, episode 325. 325 is a 75. 75 is a number that seems comfortable. It's 3/4, which is 3/4, which is 3, 4. 3 plus
5 minus
4
2 is
is
3.
3 plus 4 is 7. And then you add a 5 to it, you're back to 75. And we're here at 325.
God damn it, I forgot to change it again.
Number change. Number change. Yeah, it's like right down there. Other side? Am I on the right side?
You are on the right side. You're pointing like right at it. Yeah, you got it.
Bam. How's it going, Bruno?
Good. How you doing?
Good. We got some housekeeping to take care of.
Okay.
Next week's episode of Thursdays are the Best Days podcast has been canceled.
Oh no.
I'll be traveling for work, and I'll be in a hotel room.
Okay.
Postponed,
Postponed.
canceled, rescheduled.
Sure.
I don't know what the correct terminology is for it.
I think postponed because if it was canceled, we would move to 327. Now, if you want to fuck with people, we could do that.
Do like the logic there, because that would just make everything more confusing.
It sure would.
Ooh, don't tempt me with confusing time.
We could decide on that.
I like the thought of that, and most likely we'll do something confusing someday, but I don't know what day that day will be.
But if it's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be on a Thursday, unless you want to get crazy.
Wouldn't that be wild? What happens if Thursday's canceled?
We just move to a 6-day week and try and, or like make up 2 days to add to the week and take Thursday out.
Now, hear me out.
Go on a rolling week of stupidness where it changes the day every time.
Hear me out now.
Yeah.
Are you happier that a week is an odd amount of days, or would you be happier if a week was an even amount of days? I'm of the mindset that I feel like we should have somehow just lied to ourselves and like figured out a 6-day week.
Okay. No. Give me a base 10 week.
Oh my god, stop. We're not having a metric system week calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, give me the metric calendar.
I want a goddamn metric calendar. What the fuck? Who asked? What comment? Who hurt you?
36 and a half weeks. It's easy.
And a half. I want an even amount of days, but 10-day weeks? What the fuck does that mean? Like what? 10-day weeks?
Sure.
Jesus Christ! I just wanted 6. I wanted to be able to do something every other day, and it makes sense.
Ooh, that does kind of make sense.
Like
yeah, I like that. I don't mind that.
So, minor issue in my life. It's not an issue. Minor reoccurring scheduling thing that it feels awkward. I clean the cat boxes every other day.
Okay.
So it starts on a Sunday because my trash pickup is Monday morning. So do one last clean out.
Sure.
Put it in the trash. Then I do Tuesday. I do Thursday. But then it comes around that technically I should do Saturday. Why am I going to clean it out Saturday when I have to clean it out Sunday? Because I'm having trash night. So I'm already going to like take out the trash. So I might as well like get all the bags that I have in the little trash can down there and do that. So it doesn't make sense to do Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have to do a 3-day jump till Sunday. But then the Sunday clean out is never fun because you have that extra day worth of like stuff to have to dig out.
Yep.
And I have 3 boxes, and I'm having like an $800 automatic thing like DIT does. It feels excessive to me. But
there's a big thing going around online on Reddit that one of them likes to pinch cats' neck.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I haven't seen the ones that like the door closes. Like I think the other ones are just like they just spin and they just like
some of them The one that
Yeah.
they're talking about, the door, if so, it spins, but it spins vertically, not like horizontally.
Who does
So the opening spins upward and slices.
who designs all these things that just automatically closes and no one does like the finger test? It was like the Cybertruck. You know that guy that like was like, let's see if this crushes my finger, and it crushed his finger, and it's like, wow, what? We
Like
won
I
this.
would be putting like a lot of different things in that before I put any of my body parts in it.
I'm like, who won the stupid test here? Like, he's like, let's see if they fixed it. Just like crunch. Nope.
That's crazy. I
Like
doesn't make sense.
if I'm QA for like if hire me as QA for products, guys. Like I'm gonna do like some basic shit of like, oh that latch closes. Just like start throwing like things into it, being like, huh?
You
You guys
know,
didn't think you
let's
didn't think
start
about
cheap. How about a carrot?
yeah.
If it
Throwing,
disintegrates and juices a carrot, we got problems.
it's like let's are we like oh you guys never thought of the idea that someone would put something into a closing door? Fucking even garage doors figured it out. No, I mean you could like bypass it and it can be shitty, but like at least garage doors like you
Yeah.
don't see be you don't see the average person being like crushed to death by the garage door closing. It's just like I think even
No.
if my
If
sensors don't go off, if mine have enough resistance, it just stops.
yeah, usually I think they have a couple fail safes. Yeah. Like when you hear about people and garage doors and accidents, it's like some big mechanical failure of like, oh, the spring snapped while it was opening and somebody was under it,
Yeah, like
or the cable that it lifts up by. Not like, oh, it just closed on them.
yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I think I view the world differently than a lot of people, and I kind of wish I didn't view the world way the world was. I wish I was dumb.
I think about that sometimes. Like,
Think of how much more ignorant or blissful we'd be in the ignorance of being dumb.
yeah, like I tend to view myself as having common sense. Um, enough that I wouldn't put my finger in a closing Cybertruck door.
Yeah, but maybe you'd be living a happier life being able to review Cybertalks because you'd be like the guy that
And
puts
maybe
fingers
you're
in stuff.
right.
It's like, I don't know. Like, think of a whistling diesel. Like, he doesn't seem to have. I mean, he has common sense. He has common business sense, but like that man just does shit. Like,
No, see, like I
some
think
of
he
it isn't.
turns his brain off and
Okay, because
like
I'm gonna say
forces it. I
some of
don't
these.
think he's that dumb.
No, but like sometimes when he's driving like over concrete
Oh yeah,
barriers
but
without
that's
like a helmet and like no like crap like and you see him like
yeah,
like some of that stuff is like bud your neck's gonna start hurting one of these
yeah.
days and you're gonna be like ugh
But that's like a business decision too. That's like,
I
and
I
he's got
would
something figured out. Let me tell you.
maybe people would stop watching him but if he like wore a helmet for some of the stuff he did I wouldn't necessarily like hate him for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first thing that comes to
like
mind was the
he definitely should be wearing like a helmet and a Hans device for some of the shit he does.
I'm just thinking back to like the F-150 in the Cybertruck when he was like just driving over like hills, like oh I guess I gotta send it this time, and I'm like
Or
maybe
like, okay, when he drove it off that pipe and it dropped like 6 feet onto the frame. I'm sure that didn't feel good.
no I again like you just like when they're repeatedly picking it up when he's in him to like see if if the thing breaks and they start like before they bent the frame and it's just like I don't know I then they throw the big rock under the back of it to unbend the frame yeah, like that you know I don't know. I saw a Cybertruck get murdered by a plastic fence today.
A video of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, you did. I
Yeah.
don't know what. I don't know how much of a liquid that truck has, but it leaked a lot of it. And the woman was screaming, "You're leaking gas!" I'm like, "Well, it's not gas, but whatever
Yeah,
liquid
I
that
don't.
thing had was a lot of."
The only thing I can think of is, well, I know there's brake fluid in it.
Is that
I'm I'm gonna say there's probably coolant in it. There's probably a coolant system, I'm thinking,
How
of
much?
some
How
sort.
how viscous is brake fluid? I've never really seen it, to be honest with you.
It's a heavy oil, I would call it.
So it wouldn't look like spilling out water. Like I would definitely know
No.
it's more of a fluid, not like a or an
Um,
oil versus a fluid.
hmm,
Are oils
yeah,
fluid or is oil a type
oil's
of
definitely fluid.
I don't know, when I think of fluid, I think of like something that's not like I guess it's
There's
just
probably
more viscous.
windshield washer fluid. That's a thing.
Yeah, problem that is the thing.
Um, I'm looking at a safety sheet for fluids of a Cybertruck. It does have coolant.
I guess battery coolant?
Um, it might be on the motors, to be honest with you.
No, that's true.
And then there's some gearbox fluid and some refrigerant in the air conditioning. So like, it was probably either coolant or windshield washing fluid.
A fluid is a liquid, gas, or other material that may continuously move and deform quote unquote flow under applied sheared stress or external force. So a gas can be a fluid.
Um, what's the? You ever see the videos of like I forget what Asian country it was. One of them had a big gas leak recently that blew up. Um, it was killing cars. Like people were driving along the street and their cars would die.
What?
Their cars would die. You know, they would
Okay.
stop working.
Okay.
Some plant started leaking this gas. It was a flammable heavy gas. I forget what exactly. It might have been propane, but I'm not sure. But it was a heavy gas, so it stayed low and it starved the cars of oxygen for internal combustion. And
Oh.
then something happened and all of it flash fire everywhere.
Assuming one of the engine I'm assuming one of the engines might have had a shitty spark plug and like
Well, like a lot of things have rating to be uh I think it's combustion safe. Like there's a name for it.
I thought propane was pretty high.
Or
Like I thought
I think it's like intrinsically safe is what they call it when things never spark. Like a lot of the things you use in your daily life spark, like light switches, you know.
yeah.
If there was enough of an explosive gas around, you could set it off with a light switch. Um, Cars are definitely not that because they blow things up themselves. Um, I'm almost surprised it wouldn't have happened sooner.
Don't you just love when you do a light switch half the way and you hear the
Yeah,
you're
it's
like, ooh.
not a good sound.
You're like, ooh, that sounds fun. Then you click it down, then you click it back up again, and you're like, ooh, yeah. Man, I thought propane was pretty. I guess it's maybe not too. I don't know. I mean, but they use it for like forklifts and stuff. Like it is like a. It has to be decently combustible
They
if they use it
use
for.
it for forklifts because it does not put off carbon monoxide when you burn
Right,
it
so you can use it
correctly.
inside.
Yes.
But I'd assume it'd have to be like pretty combustible if like it to be used for that
Oh,
situation.
absolutely. Yeah. Um, but it's I think a heavy gas, which is
What type
why
of
it stayed low and like it was like a flowing gas that was rolling like a wave across of the city basically.
well, that's okay. You know,
I'm trying to see if I can find
probably
something.
if it was Asia, it was probably some dude like lighting a cigarette out there, like, whoom. Um, I'd believe almost any country in Asia would have this issue. Probably, probably China. Definitely, always can believe India. Um,
Oh, I think I'm out of fat. I think it was Yep, it was this one. This is the one I'm talking about.
ooh, South Korea. I wasn't expecting
Yep,
that one.
South Korea. There's a link for you.
Oh, I clicked it in the wrong Discord. You, you
It
know,
was
I
actually
was.
visible too.
Oh,
Um, yeah. There's a liquid propane truck at the end of it, so I'm assuming it was that.
um, nah, man, you gotta love these countries that have video cameras like everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like snowy there?
No. Well, maybe.
Imagine just like, damn. Imagine just like looking outside at night, as some people do at times, and like everything just like combusted in flames.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And I mean, there's a lot of it, so it just was everywhere.
You know my favorite part about this?
What's that?
This GIF is so compressed that the server can run it smoothly.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty compressed.
That's when you know the server. That's when you know something's compressed is when the server has no issues with just like, oh no, I'll run that video. Any other video, it's just like,
Yeah, it was pretty happy with
uh.
that one.
This one was like, oh man, I'm a great graphics processor, guys.
Mmm, tasty. Can I have
Uh,
another like that?
okay, so you were coming in hot this week with two separate things. One of which I have not looked at. The other one I looked at just because it wasn't spoilered out.
Well, one of them is related to one of the things I typed.
Wait, oh, no, that was last week.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, oh,
So
should I click the spoiler?
go for it. You can have it. It's a link. I
Oh
had some
shit!
friends visit me last week.
Oh fuck, they were fighting.
I had some deer that had some zoomies going on. They were
Man,
very excited in my backyard.
this is like close.
Yeah, I
Oh, they
mean they
like
do
that
that.
tree. Oh, that. Oh fuck, they're
Uh,
fighting.
yeah, that's like weeds. That's like a bush.
I don't know. The one was munching.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. They
Man,
were
this
having a
was
good time. They were just zooming.
they don't even got corn from you anymore.
No, I should put some out. I have some.
It is corn time. Look at them. They're just like, where is this guy giving us corning anymore? Damn, they're going.
Yeah, I saw another deer. It was only one though, just walking around the other day when I was in the kitchen.
Shit, it fucking leaped off that hill.
Yeah, there's a fence there.
Oh, I didn't see the fence.
I know. It's trying to return to nature. But there is like a 4 foot fence there. And he like
Is that
not even
invisible?
a thought about it. No, it's there.
Where? I see something that I thought was like a weird twig or is it like is it it's a what type of
It's
fence is it?
it's like a wire fence.
Oh, it's a wire fence. Okay. I was thinking like a chain fence, a picket fence. I was thinking like
No, no. Like an animal containment wire fence. I had goats in my backyard.
containment. I just saw that fucker just like fucking leap fucking
Oh,
over it.
you need like a 12-foot fence to keep deer in.
I thought goats hop too.
No, but they're escape artists. They can jump too, but not like a deer can.
Okay. Are you sure? Because I played Goat Simulator.
I'm sure. They find other ways to escape though, don't worry. They'll
Okay.
fucking dig a hole under a fence or climb on top of shit to jump out. They find their ways.
Okay. I was gonna say I see no fucking fence there. I'm like, they have an invisible chain link fence. I don't know.
No, it's not chain link, but it's like the rolls of wire fence. I don't know how else to describe it. What I don't know what it's called.
I don't
It's
think I'm
not
honestly.
chicken wire, but it's
Is it bigger than chicken wire? Like,
yeah,
are like the holes bigger?
yes, a lot bigger.
I'm not sure I'm very
Um,
familiar with this type of fence.
here, have a link.
How did I know you were going to Tractor Supply?
It was the first result on Google.
I knew you were going to Tractor Supply. I'm like gonna send a link and it's gonna be.
You had to make the VM feel bad. You told it how nicely it ran a GIF, and now it doesn't want to even load Tractor
I wasn't
Supply.
even complimenting it. I was saying how sad it was that like that's the level of graphical interface we were dealing with.
Yeah. So it's like
A
big
Monarch
squares that,
general purpose field metal wire fence.
yep, big holes. Goats get their heads stuck in them.
No, is that how you trap them?
No, but they do. They would
Feels like
put their head through it to eat grass on the other side of the fence, and then their horns go through, and it's like a Chinese finger trap that they can't pull their head back out.
you know that would. I mean, at least they're trapped then at that point.
True.
You're talking about how they're escaping. If you're just getting them, if you just leave traps for them like that, then you have to worry about them escaping.
True. That is true.
Um, what did I had? Whoa, where my stuff and things? Okay.
All the stuff and things are gone.
Man, I thought I thought oh shit, I remember now. I had it on the other thing. All right, Bruno. You're into books
Yes.
now. You're a reader.
Uh huh.
You're a literary master.
Yeah, sure.
I've come to an issue.
Okay. What's your issue?
So like you, I have series going on in my life that they pause and they um
Pause or
eventually
like, are we talking hiatus or are we talking like, oh, he's working on the next book?
um in this particular situation he he has multiple ongoing series and he has plans in which
Mm.
when the series are going to be written, but it's not necessarily I'm going to write A series, then B series, and C series.
Mm-hmm.
Like he might say I'm writing this book for this series and then I'm going to write that book for that series.
Mm-hmm.
And like so there's going to be a break and the next book he puts out won't be the book for the series you're necessarily like on currently.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be for the other series you're currently working on. Or he's going to have 3 secret books he releases that he doesn't tell anyone about and they become like the secret
Mm-hmm.
project. So like
And then the secret project gets really popular and then they forget about the other one and
well, like the secret project was always in the plan. So the author is Brandon Sanderson. And the best I can describe it to you is he's making a Marvel Universe of fantasy series.
okay. Well,
So
that's
he
a really cool concept. I'm
so
cool with that.
he has what's called the Cosmere. And the Cosmere is a universe in which multiple different series are ongoing in the universe.
Well, that sounds really neat.
And it's written in such a way and it's world built in such a way that each series and you have to just each series is most likely its own unique world barring
Sure.
some funness with it all.
But the
Um
like universe rules apply kind of thing, I'm assuming.
yes. But like so there's two of the big series that are like he's mostly known for are Mistborn, and then there's the Stormlight Archives. Those are like the two, like,
Mm-hmm.
if you Google his name, those those
Um,
those books will
it's on
probably
my
pop up.
screen.
Like,
Yep.
um, they're both books in the Cosmere, so they share the same universe. If you wouldn't have known they're in the universe, you would read one series, you would read the other series, and be like, "Wow,
That
there's
that has
this."
some similarities. It
You
reminds me of that,
well, you'd be like, it
but it's
feels like
different.
it's different. You'd be like, you'd feel like there's no spoilers in this. It's it's a basic fact of the universe, of the world built universe. Like, there's no, like, it doesn't make any book um uh it doesn't affect anything with any book, because it's like a key part of how the universe interacts. But there are these there are these shards of God, and
Okay.
each book kind of each the way he makes different magic systems for every book. So every series has its
Oh,
own magic system, because he
okay.
likes building magic systems. So the
Okay. Was not
way he
expecting that, but that's okay.
so Mistborn
Um,
and Stormlight have two vastly different magic systems.
okay.
Like, no, not very non-comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh but they're both magic, like unequivocally magic. Like,
Sure.
um but the shards of God end up end up influencing their own sort of magic systems on planets.
Okay.
So in Mistborn, the magic system in Mistborn, that world had two gods, has two shards, and it created, like, think of alchemy. If alchemy was a magic system, so
Yep.
you ingest steel, and you burn steel. So you, like, have to eat, like, steel shavings, and then you burn those steel shavings to, like, push an object, push, like
Sure.
probably as you would think of it as ferrous objects. They call them, like, like alchemy, like, they have words for it. Um, then so that's like that world's magic, which is also that world has three magic systems, but that's like the basic one.
Okay.
Um, because there's two, like, two shards of God for it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there's three, with, like, one for one for the other, and then, like, one kind of like a blended mixture of, like, like, blah blah blah. This other series, the Stormlight Archive, has, like, this old crazy magic system with, like, basically fairies, and fairies, like, um give you powers.
Okay. Sure.
But if you would read both series, you'd be like, in the one series, you'd be like, wow, there seems like there's these gods, and it results in powers. And then you read this other series, and you're like, oh, there's also gods. They're also giving powers. But and you, like, there's
Mm-hmm.
the god ruin, there's the god preservation, and then there's, like, honor, and then there's odium. And you're like, wow, these feel just like there's no, like, overlap of, like, this is god. They're very much shards of, like, pieces of it. Um, so it again, the whole thing comes together where it's like the greater universe. There's a I don't know what you would call him. It's not Gandalf. He's a uh is he ooh. I feel like this is very wrong, but would be, like, very fun to. It's a very fun comparison. Stan Lee was Stan Lee is, like, in every Marvel movie up till, like, he passed away,
Yeah. Yes.
and he would always make an appearance. He'd be everywhere and anywhere, and he, like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the universe, no matter where, like, he would always be there, type
Yeah.
thing. There is a character like that that is referenced everywhere, and
Oh, like throughout any book.
yeah, and you're, like, reading it, and it's like you're like, character's name. Like, I'm going to meet the informant character's name, and you're like, oh shit, that's that guy. And then the other series, it's someone you're seeing them
Mm-hmm.
talk to and stuff. Like, he's the hop around between everything
He's the
character.
I'm everywhere guy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, long short to say, these books, the fifth book of the Stormlight Archive, which is supposed to be a 10-book series, is being broken into two parts. He's very much of like an era style writer. So he'll
Okay.
write. Mistborn is going to be three different or four different eras. Um, Stormlight's gonna be 2 different eras of like the first like 5 books and the second 5 books. Like after this, we know there's not gonna be a 6th book for a lot of years because he has other books planned in between.
Hmm.
And then like eventually he's gonna pick up with book 6. Um,
Is he at least doing both the parts
like
together?
no, I meant by 2 parts. I like so book 5 is just gonna be book 5.
Mm-hmm.
But like after book 5, which is part 1 of the whole greater Stormlight
Oh.
archive. The
Mm-hmm.
Stormlight archive is gonna be a 10-book
Uh-huh. I think I'm
fantasy series. It's supposed to be his epic. Like it's gonna be his like masterpiece.
gotcha.
Um,
I think I'm following now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 4 books out right now. The 5th book's coming out here eventually soon. It's been maybe a year and a half, 2-ish maybe years since I've listened to book 4. I
Yeah.
have no idea. I'm like having to go back and rewatch all these. Like they're not small books. I can't just like go rewatch it. Like they're like 40-hour plus audiobooks.
Yeah.
So you're talking like 150 hours of like someone reading it.
Yeah. So I've been doing catch up recently on like
Yeah.
stuff that's come out that I haven't read in a while. I'm having that problem.
It's like I don't know
That
what's going
like
on.
what the hell was going on? One of the I was pissed off. What book was that? Shit. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it was basically like I woke up. It was like there was no downtime, no prologue, no nothing, no like. It was like, what was I doing yesterday kind of situation. And oh, it was by the grace of the gods. I was reading the next book of it. It was a light novel. And it was like a part 1 of 2 books kind of deal. And I swear to God, I wanted to throw the thing. Because book 14 starts with the next morning. Like, what the fuck kind of descriptor is that?
So what happened last night?
I haven't been here for like a year. What do you mean the next morning?
Yeah. So before we started this, when you were prepping whatever, I was watching a YouTube video that was like re-explaining events. I'm like, oh, that happened. Oh,
Yeah.
that happened.
See, while I was on my when I read that the first time the next morning, I was like, what the fuck? And I went, shit. Is there like a Spark Notes for light novels that I could find someone describing what happened in this book? Because I didn't feel like reading a whole book to catch back up. I was like, huh. Turns out there's not. So, sounds like
Yeah,
you found a pretty good solution at least.
yeah,
Or at least enough
he's.
to get your brain remembering some of it.
I would highly recommend the author to you, mostly because it's definitely not light novelly. It's definitely not like
No, and it doesn't have to be.
no. But what I'll tell you is, in terms of fantasy, it's closer to what you would feel like an anime would be. It's like magic. It's very magicy and very
Yeah,
like these lit RPGs. I know you're into. It very much feels like that. Not like with like level ups and stats, but with like
sure. I've read a
with some
couple that don't have so much like a definitive stat screen.
yeah.
And it's the same thing, it's just a little different.
Like uh, even if you don't do the greater Cosmere, I think so. Mistborn was his like first big. I think it was like his make out breakout fantasy series. I think it's like his baby, like his that like first child type. Not his first
Yeah,
book, but I think that's his like first success. Truly.
yeah,
Um, he Mistborn. I said it's gonna be 4 eras. No spoiler. Like if you would watch anything
yeah.
about him, he's like I'm doing 4 eras with Mistborn. So you already know it's gonna be 4 separate time frames. Um, he
Okay, I was replacing eras with arcs in my head.
no
I
no no
now understand that that is not the correct thinking.
no no eras are
You're
like
talking like time frames too. Like,
yes
oh, this was the year 200 and then you skip to 700 or something.
yeah so
Am I on the right track with the concept now?
yeah so the first 3 books are like your introduction to the world, and it introduces the world in a certain state.
Yeah.
Um, and again, it's hard to say it's spoilers because if you read like even just like it's
No,
because they don't even call it like
I
even the
don't
air
consider
like
that a spoiler at all.
the next 4 books. It was I think it was supposed to be 3, but he wrote a short story and he's really bad at writing short stories. So his short story ended up being normal story length. So the second era ended up being 4 books, but that wasn't like the initial. I think it was supposed to be 4 3-book eras, but I think he just failed at that. But
I don't mind that though. That's
no,
fine.
I don't. But books 1, 2, 3 follow a set of characters at one time frame on the planet, and then books 4, 5, 6, 7 follow different characters. Like I think it's 350-ish years in the future from the first
Okay.
era.
Yeah.
Um, I think of Era 1 as like medieval,
Yeah.
classic fantasy world medievally. Like
Yeah.
uh, Era 2 is like industrial revolution time. So like
Okay.
you're getting the time you're getting
With
the
magic though.
with magic.
Still.
So you're
Yeah.
getting like cars are starting to appear with horses still, but people like are like, oh, what are those fucking car machines things? And like you get the
Yeah.
boomers being like, I like candlelight. I don't like these light bulb. Like think of it like industrial revolution. Electricity's taking over. Skyscrapers are going up. Like world's changing from a very older style to a new style. That's era 2.
Mhm.
Era 3 hasn't come out yet. Is
Sure.
no true thing, but apparently it's supposed to be like the 80s, early 90s, like internet type, like internet's being maybe
Okay.
introduced, like uh probably flip phone, probably like phone in like old school like flip phones will probably be mentioned at one point in it. Probably some like,
Okay.
and then apparently thing Era 4 is gonna be a space opera.
That okay.
It's a good see.
Of the
I'll
two, the Stormlight or Mistborn, which would you recommend, or which direction would you recommend going?
I think to get used to the author, Mistborn is short and not short, but it's an average story length. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm talking like 20 hours for like an audiobook. Like I don't know what
Okay.
it equates to page wise, but like the Stormlight are 40 plus hours. So you're
Okay.
you're talking like half the size.
Yeah.
I think to get introduced to like his style and like again, I think his not his bread and butter, but like I think to get used to who the author is, Mistborn, at least the original 3, are a very good like launching point of it. I think if you check his reading order, technically you don't even have to read all like 7 Mistborn in a row. He's like read the first 3, then you can read these story. Like you might pick up on stuff from other series
Mhm.
based on,
Okay.
but it's
I
it's interesting.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been having trouble picking the next book lately, so that might be something I'll look into in the near future. We'll see.
I I like him as an author mostly because he tries things,
Okay.
and so like he published Mistborn 3, and he's like, okay, these characters are done because like I'm going to the next era, and they are
Mhm.
not gonna live 350 years. Um, really cool thought because you know what happens when I not spoil, but like you're it's definitely an arc. Arcs tend to have like a conflict and a resolution. So at the end of the era, there's going to be a conflict and a resolution. That's just basic
Sure.
storytelling. There's no spoilers in that in the sense that it's a story.
And I
You
could foresee. Obviously, I know nothing about this. I've known
yeah.
nothing about any of this, but I could foresee like somebody looking into something in the history in the second era and the names of the first people popping up. I could see it
Well,
happening. Or like
that's
remnants of stuff that they have done or
and that's like
accomplished.
the interesting is like he talked about he has like a weekly podcast and I listen to it sometimes depending on like who the guest is sometimes.
Hmm.
Um and when he wrote Mistborn 3 and he ended that era and his publisher was like a fucking bad idea. He's like, this is gonna kill the series. You're never gonna be able to go back and like rewrite another book. Like you have to worry about like if you don't make money, you can't just like say, oh yeah, by the way, just kidding. He's like, if you do this, you fucking done this. He's like, I'm gonna do it. So he in his own world because he wanted to experiment within a fantasy world or what happened after the fantasy world happened.
Yeah.
What
Well,
happened after?
it reminds me of Critical Role and what Matt Mercer has done. How Matt Mercer has made his own universe and puts these campaigns into it, and in different time frames because they have been,
Yeah.
and they reference stuff that their other characters have done or have crazy things happen,
Did I
even
tell you?
between characters. I think.
Did I tell you they're all leading up to maybe like a con- Matt Mercer might be doing this exact thought process right now with all three s-
Yeah,
characters, where like they might all get one last like campaign, like mission, I would say,
sure,
and then like based on what's happening in the universe right now, he might hop it past so they can one. I think it sounds like they want to pivot away from 5e, like or
sure,
I think they're trying to pivot away from the whole that platform, and they're trying to make their own. So I
sure.
think he's trying to wrap the. I think he's trying. I think campaign 3 might wrap up campaign one's characters, two characters, and three characters in a very satisfying way, in a way that affects the universe greatly. That then he can introduce a whole new system in, and then he doesn't have
Oh,
to worry
yeah, I
I know
see
you
what you're
haven't been.
saying.
I know you haven't been following, but basically, what could be happening is world changing right now.
Yeah,
Like universe defining changing. Like when you talked
enough
about back
to
in,
system swap.
yeah, like in the whatever he calls his universe. I can't think of it off the top of my head. There's an
Exandria, I think.
Exandria. In the Exandria, there was the calamity, which changed the world forever
Yeah,
with the gods fighting. This is like the calamity, but we're living through it. Like we're living
yeah,
through it all, and people are thinking, because we don't know, but everyone speculates that he can then cause a big calamity 2 to happen, but then you can make magic different for the new system,
yeah,
but then also gives an excuse why he can't ever go back to the old characters, because you're not gonna. He probably doesn't want to port them because they already ported once, and I think it was bad.
yeah,
So, but definitely that issue of like, oh yeah, what happens when Vox Machina is referred to as like legends of here, like not alive, but they're definitely passed on. So
yeah.
he's an
Alive
author
but
that's willing
left
to,
their mark, kind of thing.
yeah, it's definitely an author that's willing to try things, even if they're bad. You don't have like, apparently there's like a 50% drop off of people that never picked up book for Mistborn,
I could see it.
because
Sure.
people are like, I like these characters. I don't want to read a book without these characters. Um, which is fair.
And I get that. But maybe just look at it as a new book instead of
Yeah.
as part of the same story.
So I'd recommend it just in that sense that I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be a super interesting series to then one day maybe go back through and like this. You have this crazy world building, not just from a single timeline perspective, but from a multi
Yeah.
generational, like you said, the legends of one. What you'll know as like, oh, this guy like fucking just blew up a barn. Well, 300 years from now, is that man willed a barn to fucking explode on Will? You're like, no, that guy just put like 20 tons of TNT in that barn. Like,
Yeah.
you'll know the history because you read it, you lived it with the
You
characters.
lived
So,
it. Yeah.
so all these myths that you're like, oh, this person was this, is like, well, it wasn't like this. This is just how like stories like get manipulated over time.
Yeah.
So very interesting from that regard. Not many spoilers in the sense that it's like that, but not really anything to the story that would affect
No, I
anything.
that's like that's so far zoomed out that it doesn't feel like spoilers to me.
And I'll give you this: he writes great magic systems.
All right.
He he has, again, burning every metal you burn does something different, and it's a little confusing at first because there's so many of them, but eventually
I
you start
bet.
learning them all.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Um, but basically, he thinks of a magic. He thinks of magic systems, and then he thinks of like settings, and he has a bunch of magnets. I think he has like a bunch of in progress magic systems.
Sure. Like ideas. The brainstorm. The
And then he needs to
You got
figure
the
out a new
folder.
world. So he like starts pairing up. Does this magic system make sense in this world with this set of characters type thing?
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's again when it's all said and done, you're gonna get like a Marvel's you're gonna get like the first Avengers to like Endgame, and I think
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a crazy world to read in. But I think he grew up with like the comic book era of all that stuff and all that
sure.
nonsense and jazz. But that's my dilemma with reading. Anyways, was what's your flashlight problem?
So I have a problem, Nick.
You like flashlights
Yes, and it's a problem.
because you bought another one.
Yes, I did. I don't have it. Okay.
Okay, so you have like three ones I know about. You have the small clippy.
Uh, Other than like just random shit in junk drawers or whatever,
Yeah, no,
I have three flashlights. Yes.
I would call those like your not everyday carries. I don't think you carry three at the same time. Maybe you do, but I hope you're not carrying all three at the same time.
No, lately I have been carrying one though.
I assumed one, but those are your like three that you would interchange. You have the little clippy.
I have them. One moment. I have. Let's start in chronological order. Okay.
Okay. OG.
I have an Olight SR2 Baton 2.
Weird charger, right?
Magnetic charger. It
Right. Okay.
snaps
Yeah.
onto
Yeah.
the bottom.
Yes.
As of now, this is like ancient. I think they're on the fourth or fifth baton now. Like, they've been cruising. It's an
Right.
Olight, right?
Mhm.
It's bright as shit. It's
Old
great.
reliable.
It is. It's a button, it turns on. It's good. And then I was like, hey, that thing's cool. I want it. And it's the Olight O-Clip. Stuck with the same brand. It's a little clip, It's still got a magnet on the back of it. You can stick it to things. It's bright enough, but it's a little tiny guy.
It's more versatile than it is functional.
Yeah.
It's functional, but like it's not about the light producing. It's the functionality of you can get light places small. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
the
tiny,
versatility.
it's magnetic, it's got a clip. It's also got a red light. The other one didn't have a red light. This has red light. If you
Right.
want to be functional and different.
Stealth camping.
Exactly. And then I kind of there was a stretch where like I found the flashlight subreddit, looked at it, got scared of it, stopped looking at it. And I saw that there was a Chinese brand called Workos that put out a clone basically, but not really clone. It's a similar form factor to an Olight arc field, which some Reddit communities like the EDC community really like. Has a couple different lights kind of thing.
Wasn't this like considered a bar light?
A wedge, I think, is the technical term. It's got a
Ah,
laser.
it
It's
had the
got a
cops thing.
flashlight. It has the bar on the side that does all kinds of shit, like white light or RGB light.
Yep.
And it was cheap. And that's why I
Hmm.
wanted it. Because instead of buying the name brand $100 light, I bought the off brand $40 light. That
Yes.
has gone even cheaper than that nowadays, actually. It's been on sale for less than that. And I like it a lot. And the form factor's nice, and I carry it a lot, and I've used it a shit ton. Well, I found myself back on that flashlight subreddit. And that place is scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just dangerous for you.
They use all kinds of terms that I didn't know, like emitters and CRI and temperatures, and it's a scary place, Nick. So,
What? So what? Okay, so you're browsing. So you have three versatile. Some would say you should have a flashlight for most situations in life.
yeah, absolutely.
And you're on the subreddit, and you're starting to see people posting about things, and you
Oh,
see a
yeah.
flashlight that definitely catches your eye.
Oh, yeah.
What?
It,
Describe
not
just
actually, not a specific light, a type of light.
okay, a type of
Okay.
light. Before you tell me what this type of light is and like what,
Mm-hmm.
show me it or show me. You probably have a link or something. I'm sure.
I could get one quick, yeah.
What problem did you not realize you had?
See, that's where you're wrong. This light doesn't solve shit,
Okay.
but
So
it's
this
cool as hell.
okay, so this is just like you don't really gain anything but coolness.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is if if this is my functional light, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
God, I don't even know what the fuck to call the light that that I
So
bought.
so this is like a luxury sports car. You don't need a car and you don't need the luxury, but you sure as hell want the luxury sports car.
Yeah, no, this is like I don't need this at all. I don't even know what this is useful for in my life. Okay?
Okay. So
So,
what is
you
it?
know, like when I turn this light on, you see how there's light everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. The light I bought is called a LEP light. LEP.
This better not have a cooling fan.
No.
Okay.
It's actually pretty small. It's probably a little bit bigger than this, I think. I'm
Okay.
not entirely sure. I don't have it though, so I don't know. A little bit bigger than this. It is a LEP, which is laser excited phosphor.
What?
Basically, it's a spotlight that goes for forever.
Because it's just like exciting
It's it
phosphorus.
it's a laser beam of light. So you saw how this floods like everywhere?
Yeah.
This would probably put like a I don't know, 5-inch circle on the wall, and
Okay.
that's the only thing that's lit. Nothing else.
Could I get a? Is there any sort of like video or like a demo or like a
Ah,
page that show?
yeah. Yeah, hold on.
Oh
I'll
my
get you a
god.
timestamp.
Is it really fucking like LED and like, is that the phosphorus part of it?
That is a glow in the dark ring that they put in the bezel of the light. I will.
For what reason?
None. This flashlight doesn't have reason, Nick. Okay?
Just because just so you can find your flashlight in the dark?
So see those slots on the backside of it?
Yes.
Those are slots for tritium, which is basically uranium glow in the dark bullshit. That
Okay,
is
so
also like unobtainium right now. So instead, I got glow strips, like glow bars. So I'm
wait.
going to have matching like cyan glow sticks in the back of it.
Okay. So
I'm trying to find a video quick.
so that's why they're selling them without the hard to get stuff. So people are either buying it and then like putting the things in it or
So
they're
when you get to this kind of flashlight world, there's a lot of customization, and people do like tritium a lot, but it's very hard to ship and it's very hard to supply apparently because it's like it it's radioactive material that glows forever.
yes.
So yeah,
Okay, so I'm on the page for the 6-piece 1.5 times 6
yeah, they're
millimeter
coming
glow
too.
tubes,
Mm-hmm.
and you got the cyan version.
Yeah, which matches the ring that you see in the picture.
Okay. But some people are dumping crazy money for tritium.
Yeah, it's just I think like there's a supply issue right now. You can click around in that video a little bit. Well, we're talking like this could put a spot on the side of a barn at 300 yards. This
Okay,
light.
and yeah, it's very it's not it's very focused. It's not flood. Okay,
Yeah. It is the exact opposite of flood. There's no spill, there's no nothing. It's just light in one spot. And I said, so I found these a while ago, and I said to myself, ha, that's really, really cool. I want one. And then I looked at the prices of these things, and I was like, ha, that's pretty damn expensive. I don't want one of these anymore.
so is the one in the link you sent the one you got?
That one that I sent is the one I got, but not for that price.
Okay.
I got it a lot cheaper than that,
I was gonna hope so. I was gonna be like, that's
or
a
at least a
little.
good bit cheaper.
Okay.
I think I got like a 40% off coupon for it or something.
That makes me feel a little better. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, there's one of these that's really fucking cool that I do think is great. I think it's the W4, but it's like a $300 light. But it's a laser to God. Like, I can hit the moon with it, kind of thing. So,
At least I know. At least if someone says something to me in life, I can be like, oh, I have a flashlight guy.
I can be that guy.
That's what I mean. Like if I
Because
need.
in the time that I've been waiting for this thing to fucking get off the plane from China, I've been perusing the subreddit, and it's a scary world out there, man. So
You.
this this is made by a guy called Neil over in China.
Yeah.
As you can see, the first link was neilsgadgets.com. That's his website where he sells
Oh,
lights.
okay. I didn't. Okay. So this is one dude. Like, okay.
But this is like his brand light. This he made it, right?
Mhm.
There's another guy, and the other guy's even crazier, okay? The other guy's name is Hank. He's also in China. He's like sitting in a workshop putting together lights for people. And if you could equate this to cars, it's like the dudes that are building cars, like building hot rods in their garage, okay? Basically, and it's kind of a cool thing that happened because a lot of people put work together to make something. So there's a guy that made Anduril, which is an open source flashlight programming thing. And it's, free to use kind of deal.
Yep.
And everybody loves it because you can do an obscene amount of things with one clicky button on a flashlight. And that's great. So Hank's lights all use them. And when you go to order a light from Hank, basically you get 4 different drop downs. What color or type of body do you want on the flashlight? What emitters do you want? So what LEDs do you want in the flashlight? That drop down has fucking 26 options right now. It's like, what flavor of emitter do you want? What not bright, what color? What brand? And there's
I'm
26 of them.
I'm looking at a lot of this stuff. Oh, I'm not looking at Hanks, but I'm looking at a lot of the Neil
I
stuff right now. So I'm like I'm both
Yeah.
looking and like
No,
trying
I
to
know.
understand.
And he sells other brands too, but the Enlight D is his brand. Or Enlighted or whatever the fuck, however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. But Hank went crazy.
We're gonna you're gonna get fucking Bruno
Apparently it's through
wedding.
customs. So we'll
I
see.
mean, it's like Bruno.
And great part about this flashlight, you must use an unprotected lithium cell battery. So that's cool.
What?
Yeah, they don't make them so you can fit the protected ones, and they don't put off enough power, so you got to use unprotected ones. The flashlight has its own protection though. But
Okay.
yeah, they're scary.
Man, what do you know about flashlights? And I go, I don't know anything, but I fucking know a guy that knows something.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
they're crazy. I kind of want a Hank light too now though, because they look cool. They're like, but they're like so dumb.
Ooh.
They're like burn paper dumb.
You should just return. Oh, I found. You know,
They're not that expensive either. Is the thing.
I found some tritium vials.
So that is a website. They do sell them.
They
Yeah.
not like deliver
But
places.
like, I think they do. I think it's okay. But the other thing is like, okay, great. You're spending $6.50 for one of these vials. That light takes 6 of them.
Yeah, I don't know. You're already spending a lot on a
I
flashlight.
know.
I don't know.
I know. The other thing is, in 10 years, they'll be half as bright as when you bought them.
Yeah, and I don't know what.
I don't, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about tritium. It's a lot of money. I've always wanted one though, of something.
Get a keychain. Get a keychain.
I have thought about that a couple times. If it wasn't so stupid to ship one vial of tritium, I would think about it.
Yeah. I was curious on like the price of the tritium stuff. I was like 6. It's not bad, but like you said, it's per, so it's like not great, but it's like okay.
And this, we're talking about something that's like this big,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
this
yeah.
long, you know. But it glows forever. It doesn't ever stop glowing until like it half life so many times that it doesn't glow anymore.
Yeah. What what's your tritium? Do you like the blues?
I
I don't
would
know. The green
like
kind of
so
looks cool.
so green is definitely an option because it's also the brightest because that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
But like the cool they're calling it icy blue,
Yeah,
ice
I like the
blue.
ice blue.
It's like that cyan kind of looking color. They're usually pretty good.
So that's 43. Oh, it's like the shittier the colors, the cheaper it is. No.
No,
Well, no. When I didn't slick on, there was one. Oh, what's the G6 SP? What's that?
I don't know where you are, brother.
Oh, okay. I was on the keychains on the
Oh, I guess I
website.
should show people the light on the podcast too, huh? At least like pull a picture up of it or
I
something.
think the $1 thing is the empty file.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a hunk of metal on a keychain. Yeah. Yeah, this is the absolutely no function whatsoever, but it's cool light. All the other ones have a purpose. This one does not. But it's
You know.
cool. And I wanted it, so I got it.
You know.
Well, I didn't get it yet. I'm still waiting on. I don't even remember what the company that it shipped with to originally. It's supposed to have been transferring to USPS for like a day and a half now.
Can't wait to like bust it out with the boys that one day. Like I know, no, I don't know how many of them actually know you're like a flashlight aficionado.
Well, Dit was creeping on the podcast text the other day and asked me about it
Okay, was he?
while Eric was there. So Eric
Okay.
knows about it. And then Eric proceeded to ask me what would happen if he shined it into his eyes.
Then
Which,
I'll.
in this case, is actually like pretty bad because it's a goddamn laser beam.
um Well, then I'll fake him out by knowing you're a flashlight aficionado, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, I know Bruno's secret love," and I'll be like, "Yeah, but you don't know about his pen collection," and then I'll be like, "What do you mean about his pen collection?" And I'll be like,
Yeah,
"Apparently,
I got into them a couple times. I have a couple of them. Fountain pens.
yeah." So I mean, I'm like, they'll think they'll have you with flashlights, and then I'll whip out that it's like, "Oh no, we need to pivot to pens," and I'll be like, "Oh shit, you like pens?" And I'll be like, "He likes pens."
The problem is I
You
don't write enough.
you're a you are like you're an EDC adjacent guy, but I don't think you're into everyday. I don't know if you browse the everyday carry like subreddit.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I feel like you hit the
They're
rim of like
stupid though.
that's what okay, but I still feel like you hit the rim of everything around it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you have like an EDC
They've
kit.
caused many problems.
Okay.
That stupid fucking subreddit.
Okay. I was gonna say you because on an average day I would expect you to have your carry flashlight carry, your pen carry, your knife
Nah,
carry.
the problem with the pen is I don't use it, so that the pen fell off. But yes, yes, you are hitting it way too on the nose.
And then I don't know. You probably have something else that I'm not thinking of, but those are like the
The
main categories.
headphones. The headphones come
Oh,
with me a
I guess
lot.
they always talk about those in the carries.
Yeah.
You're on your like second set.
So I had Anchor headphones.
No, the
Bought
Sony ones.
Sony ones. Yeah, they did get like RMA'd. Yeah. I got a new set of headphones. Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was one or two times that you sent it back.
Just once. Just for like absolute dog shit battery life. I think I told
Yeah.
you this before that I think they switched what battery they used in production and then made the firmware for the new battery for like where it charges to,
Yeah.
and that murdered the old batteries.
Gotcha.
And I think I might have had old batteries. Let's see, how many hours have I used my new headphones for? I'm approaching equal on both of them. They're both in the 500 hours. I think my first set was 592 and my second set is at 517.
It's not bad.
That's a lot of hours with headphones
No,
when you
it's
think about it.
definitely a lot. But anyway, somehow we've already hit 1 hour and 6 minutes. So
Yeah.
I don't know how we I don't know how we do anything but say enjoy next Thursday without a Thursdays are the best days, because even if Thursday isn't a best day, it's always the best day, because
Always.
the podcast is the best days because it is Thursday, not because Thursday is the best days because of the podcast.
No,
So,
we can't claim that.
nope, because that's all we have for this week's episode of Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast. Thanks for listening and goodbye.
See you later.